Hey guys, welcome to Tuckered OutLife, episode 4. Today we're going to be talking about educators and how we are all doing. When I say educators, I want you to make sure you understand that I am not simply just talking about teachers, which my wife and I are. I'm talking about everybody in the education field. We're talking about the lunch ladies. We're talking about the custodians. We're talking about the bus drivers, the counselors, the secretaries, librarians, SROs, everybody, administration, everybody who is inside the school building on a daily basis and the impact they have on kids. And the reason I'm talking about this day is because school systems we are, for my kids and my wife and I as teachers, we began our e-learning experience. And so just kind of want to go through that. The impact that educators has is becoming even more prevalent, even more known because of what's going on. Understand this disclaimer, I'm not taking away from everyone else. The great thing, there are a lot of great things happening with the COVID-19, with the quarantines, with the stay safe and all those things, is we are finding out what occupations are truly important in our society. And I'll touch on those later. But like I said, today's going to kind of be a reflection of the education system, what we're doing, things like that. So one of the big things is the fact that it is causing a lot of us to have to change and grow. So most of us, myself included, I made the decision my sophomore year in high school. My teachers, specifically my coaches, had made a huge impact on my life, and so I started trying to look ahead. And so I said, hey, all right, now what do I want to do? And it just became clear to me. And as a religious person now, I understand what it was. At the time back then, it wasn't really something that was on my radar as far as religion goes, but I knew there was something working that was said, your job is to go and impact people. All right, and so that's what I did, and that's what I have been doing for, this is my 19th year teaching, and it was every day I get to go and try to encourage people. I get to work and watch kids grow, and that's the thing that most of us in the education field that are in the building every day, we miss. We thrive on the kids coming in. We thrive on even the kids that are difficult, that challenge us to grow as educators. That's what we're there for, because we want to make that impact. Every person in that building loves seeing those kids. And the fact that we will not be able to have that interaction like we are used to is something that we are all having to adapt and change to. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from today. So e-learning, which has been implemented where we are in the state of Alabama and several other states, from talking to my coaches and my teaching friends from across the country, as well as groups that you're in now thanks to social media around the world, we are now finding out that there's other ways to do things. The other thing we're finding out is that because of the shift and the change and the age of teachers, which age is not really the factor here. It is really a teacher's ability to adapt and change as education has changed. There are some teachers that are fine. They've jumped right on board with this. Fortunately, myself and my wife, we have been able to implement this because of what we have done in our classrooms before. It is new because this is now our primary medium of reaching our students, and it is still something that there are educators out there that are scared of, that they're changing. And watching educators continue to grow and change is what is going to be amazing about this. Now, with that being said, the other aspect we have to face with educators is the fact that we now know more so about our kids and their home lives and the voids that are there. Not the parental voids, but if we're shifting to a technology-based education program with what is going on, what do we do with these kids that don't have access to it? Because there are kids out there. And so just like we have always done within the classroom, we have to mold and modify. And that is what is going on. And at some levels, it is up to the teacher. At some levels, it's the administration. At some levels, it is the actual school system itself. And everybody's fighting this at a different battle. When I say fighting, it's a fighting because it's a good fight. We want to make sure these kids do not get, for the word, left behind. But really, we understand as educators what an impact has when they don't get that daily instruction, and really it's just more or less that daily encouragement that is there. The routine that we're on, I can tell you that that's something that we're done. We've set up schedules at our house because as educators, we're used to the routine. Just like as parents and people out there, you guys are used to the routine. The kids are used to the routine. The educators are used to the routine. And now everything is thrown out of whack, and so we all have to be. So we miss the routine. We miss the schedules. It sounds crazy. We miss the bells. We miss the lunch. Everything that goes into what makes the school, the culture, all of that is now gone from what the norm is, and there is now a new norm. So what now? What are we doing? The biggest thing, and my wife and I have spoke about this, and I've told her because I saw this coming many years ago whenever I started getting my master's degree, or got my master's degree online, is that the education system is still stuck in the industrial era. That is good and that is bad. All right. For the kids that understand and the teachers that understand the structure and the things that is needed to progress, it is fantastic. On the other side, we are a technology-based society now. So this is actually forcing the education system to get out of that and open up more avenues for students who are not classroom based. Having taught in a high school setting, you see those kids that they're like, this is not for them. And I've told those kids that, and that's why we're there as teachers, is to benefit them and to say, hey, but this is what I need you to do, because that's why I'm an educator. All right, that's why I'm a teacher, that's why I'm a coach, is to try to help these kids get through it. There are those kids that are just made for the academic classroom, and that is fantastic, but that's what the school system is set for. But it's good that we're able to now realize and open our eyes, and I'm hoping that school systems will embrace this to provide kids more opportunities. And it starts at the local setting. It's going to go to the state, and it's going to have to go to the national level. And I'm going to touch on politicians here in a second, but it's going to start with us in the house, teaching our kids, realizing that, hey, maybe this is good. It's going to start with administrations and then moving on up and realizing there are ways to educate kids without them being in the classroom all the time. It is possible if we will open our eyes to it. And it's for certain kids, and then some kids can't. And I've been in systems where it works, and I've been in systems that are working on it, and then there's some that are just like, we don't want it. So it's across the board. It's however we're approaching it, but that is what it is. We've learned that there's a lot of places that are not prepared. We're not prepared. Now they have to be. So once again, kind of coming back to it, it's making us become better people, better teachers, which is what we are. We always tell our kids to be lifelong learners, and I'm loving the education community now. And once again, that includes everybody who are finding ways to reach out. And you've seen that, all right? For so much of the time, educators are handcuffed. We're tied up with all the legislation and the bureaucracy and all the guidelines, all the stuff. And as soon as this happened, we were the ones right there figuring it out. The community was right there the ones figuring it out, because it takes a village to make all this happen, and that is what's going on. So I hope that it's opening up your eyes to what teachers really do. I see all the different things that pop up, good, bad, indifferent, just like we're seeing for the other professions. All right, and when I say professions, I'm talking about the people that get up every day and go to work, that are keeping this country running. They are the ones that are important. They are the ones that are keeping these going. It's not the politicians, all right, the ones that we're having to rely on. I don't care what party you are. I've always said this. I don't care. We are Americans. We're people. We're going through this. And if we pay attention and you get rid of the political jargon, you'll realize that they have no clue. All right, they're doing the best they can. I know some of you are going to disagree with this, but at the end of the day, their lives are rarely being touched because their money's still coming in. They still have all these backers. They're not having to fight it every day. More than likely, most of them are not having to worry about can they go out or not, what's got to go on, because it doesn't affect them. All right, it's affecting us on our daily lives, and that's what we're finding out. So As an educator, as a coach, on that level, that's another impact that we're used to being able to work out our kids. Right now, the wrestling program that I'm with, we're usually doing spring not training, but spring lifting. All right, football going on, spring sports going on. As a coach, it is tearing us apart because we don't get to have those kids, those bonds, those times. These are the memories that we have. The classroom is great as the coaching side of it. I'll touch on that later on in another one. That's a part of it. But there's a lot of things that's taken away. If you know a teacher, thank them. A lunch lady, a bus driver, an SRO. All those people that are in there every day. We're like everyone else. We're struggling. We're going to figure it out just like you guys are. We're in this together. Support your teachers. Email your teachers. Be right there. Get your kids involved. Send them pictures of it, because I promise you the stuff that I've been getting today has been great, seeing the kids' faces, having not seen them for about 3 weeks now. And that's what you miss. And so we love you. We're praying for everybody. Stay safe. Stay well. Let's not get tuckered out. Let's keep pulling together, even if you got to stay distanced and social distancing. Wave to each other, because we are coming together more as a country. Have a good one.